Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy for Civil Services. Let us discuss today the Hindu newspaper of Delhi edition. The first article it is about GS2 international relation, the neighborhood relationship between India and Pakistan. The Pakistan foreign minister says that India's decision on Jammu and Kashmir slammed the door shut on discussions. Further discussion between the two countries stayed closed door because the action which made by India during the time of August 2019 regarding the decision of Jammu and Kashmir revoking Article 370. So the bilateral meeting with the two countries' external affairs minister, particularly the visit from Pakistan foreign minister for attending the SCO Council foreign ministers meeting at Goa. So there would be no kind of talks related to the same because it slammed the door shut on discussions. It is about the India and Pakistan dispute. Just go through this article. Next one is about Central Security Forces flood crisis hit Manipur. In at, the last discussion that we were knowing about what exactly the problem which is happening in the region of Manipur. It's a tribal and non-tribal conflict between the two communities, Kiki as well as Methi, regarding the inclusion of ST status to the Methi community that triggered a lot of violence activities in the region of Manipur. So the DGP of Manipur claims that a more number of people deployed to take care of the security of the state. So around 3,200 CRPF personnel as well as Army and Indian Air Force teams have been deployed. So there is a probability of Article 355 imposition to the state, but the Home Ministry of India denied that particular invoking of Article 355 to the state. Here, we need to understand about the emergency provisions in India. Article 355 states that it comes under the state emergency. So, the Constitution stipulates three types of emergency provisions. The three types of emergency provisions. One is national emergency, constitutional emergency, then financial emergency. So, in the case of national emergency, the ground of declaration comes under Article 352 of the Indian Constitution. The President can declare a national emergency when the security of India or a part of it is threatened by war or external aggression or armed rebellion. So the 44th Amendment, this term inserted the term called armed rebellion. Before that, it is called as internal disturbance. So second one is about your state emergency. That is known as popularly President's Rule. Article 355 impose a duty on the center to ensure that the government of every state carried on the accordance to the provisions of the constitution. In this duty, in the performance of which state takes over the government of a state under Article 356 in case of failure of the constitutional machinery. So 355 says that center is supposed to ensure that the government of every state is carried on in accordance with the provisions of the constitution. So in case of constitutional machinery failure, then government of a state under Article 356, particularly the central government take over the state government. So the ground of imposition of this Article 356 empowers the president to issue the proclamation. If he is satisfied that a situation is arisen in which the government of a state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the constitution. So this is very important for you. And as last category, that is your financial emergency, Article 360 of the Constitution, which empowers the President again to proclaim a financial emergency if he is satisfied that a situation has arisen due to which the financial stability or credit of India or any part of its territory is threatened. So these three important provisions that you need to understand regarding this particular article. But invoking of Article 355 in the case of Manipur, the Ministry of Home Affairs has denied that particular charge. Moving towards the next important article of the day, that where we are going to give more focus is that it is about the editorial page. The topic regarding the G20 and the SCO summits. Remember, the horizon for India beyond the G20 and the SCO summits. This particular article, it is completely stating about India's year-long presidency of G20 and also leadership of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So persisting challenges that faced by our country and how we can make the circumstance ease, and there is a lot of high expectation in terms of rich dividend from helming the two summits. So this particular article is providing you what are all the countries is going to participate and what kind of challenges that India is facing in terms of conducting these two summits, particularly in terms of Russia-Ukraine war and also the problem which is happening in the Pakistan region in the recent days. So all these kind of things is going to be challenged. And also India is facing a big issue in terms of with China, because you know about the war clouds were witnessed in the region of Europe. There is a lot of tense in the region of the East Pacific. So deepening concern for our country, how India is going to face that issue. So just go through this article which was given by M.K. Narayan. He is a former director of Intelligence Bureau and a former national security advisor and a former governor of West Bengal. And this particular topic comes under your General Studies 2 International Relations. Then this article, ethnic quagmire, it is about the violence in Manipur could have been avoided had government stayed about the fray. This article already we discussed regarding the two communities in the region of northeastern states, particularly the Manipur, Kiki community as well as Meiteis, in terms of inclusion of the tribal status to that particular community. That is the reason behind there is a violence was prevailed in the state of Manipur. Just go through this article also that you will get an idea. Next, switching on India's smart electricity future. About the future electricity, where your electricity meter becomes your advice on all things in the electricity. So, India is witnessing the future unfold now. Around 5.5 million smart meters have been installed in India and over 100 million sanctioned. In this particular article, you will get a complete information regarding how this can be policy making and regulating in the future in terms of the electricity in India. Just go through this article, you will get a good idea. And this particular topic comes under your General Studies 3 Indian economy. Next important article, that border situation is stable, says China foreign minister. See, the situation along the India-China border is generally stable. Both sides should draw lessons from the history. You know about during the time of British rule, the person named called McMahon, he draw a line between India and Pakistan, which is known as McMahon line. During that time period itself, there is a lot of activities made by Chinese in terms of occupying the territories. Doklam issue, Arunachal Pradesh, Aksai Chin. These are all the major areas that we used to give attention that lessons from the history. So both the foreign ministers like come up with a statement. So the both sides should draw a lessons from the history. This particular article is stating about what kind of future can be in terms of ease, possibility there in the line of actual control. Restoring of the peace in the borders between India and China is the major concern. This particular topic were discussed under the SCO meeting. This topic is also comes under your General Studies 2 International Relations. Center looks into option to counter European Union carbon tax plan. See, the Commerce Ministry of India exploring various options to cope with the European Union's decision to introduce a carbon tax, including retaliatory tariff measures, a challenge at the World Trade Organization. Because this particular discussion helped the smaller Indian exporters as well. So remember, the carbon tax mechanism is very important. We need to understand the carbon leakage in when companies in order to meet the climate policy. So this climate policy requirements are to avoid restrictions on the carbon emission, carbon emission, right, in their home country, relocate the production or manufacturing or carbon intensive materials to country with less stringent climate rules. Okay, so now what is this carbon border tax mechanism, CBA? So it is like provide aim to create a level playing field for European Union and non-European Union manufacturers to reduce the carbon footprints in their particular region. This particular tax system was introduced to address the carbon leakage as well. What are all the impacts in India? Because high CBAM, the share for many Indian exports cover under CBAM is going to European Union in the high format and also less market share. India firms risk losing market share to European Union based producers or those in other more carbon efficient nations. And it affects the exports as well. Remember, CBT will affect the substantial exports as the European Union is an important trade partner of India and also expensive. Even though a product from India may be cheaper than an American product, tax plus product price, which will make Indian products more expensive. So many Indian steel firms use electric furnace, a more carbon efficient process. So India must use its strength to avoid carbon tax because it may force many European steel firms to shut down, will provide an opportunity for Indian steel firms to increase its market share. So just keep this particular information in your mind and read this article so that you'll get an idea. Next important topic comes under your GS3 health. High Court seeks presence of Health Secretary in rare diseases case. The Delhi High Court ordered the presence of the Secretary of the Union Health Ministry before it, following non-compliance of its order directing release of 5 crore for children suffering from rare diseases. Remember, order directing release of 5 crore for children suffering from the rare diseases. In this particular context, we need to understand the rare diseases and the policy also. What exact policy is given by the government? First, we need to understand rare diseases. Remember, 6,000 to 8,000 classified rare diseases, but less than 5% have therapies available to treat them. So the count is very high, 6,000 to 8,000, but the therapy to cure it only 5%. Example, we can take LSD, lysosomal storage disorders, Pompe disease, muscular dystrophy, spina bifida, hemophilia. These are all the examples of rare diseases. About 95% rare diseases have no approved treatment. Less than 1 in 10 patients receive disease specific treatment. That is the big concern here. 80% of the rare diseases used to have their genetic origins also. So these diseases have different definition in various countries, range from the prevalent in 1 in 10,000 of the population to 6 per 10,000. So the rare diseases is defined as a health condition of low prevalence that affects a smaller number of people. When compared with other prevalent diseases, in the general population, many cases of rare diseases may be serious, chronic, and life threatening. So, the government of India, under the Ministry of Family and Health and Family Welfare, formulated NPRD in the year of 2021 for the treatment of rare disease patients. So, increasing more focus on indigenous research and local production of medicines for the rare diseases. Particularly, the cost of treatment should be low for those diseases. Screening and detecting rare diseases early stages to do the prevention. So, under this particular scheme, this scheme which is known as NPRD, National Policy of Rare Diseases. Okay, they categorized into different groups and financial support also given. So, whoever suffering in the rare diseases under the different groups, financial support of 20 lakh rupees under the umbrella scheme name called Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi. Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi. And alternating funding like crowdfunding system. Crowdfunding system, because crowdfunding treatment by setting up a digital platform for a voluntary individual contribution and corporate donors to voluntarily contribute to the treatment cost of patients of rare diseases, right? So these are all the major information that you need to understand regarding this rare diseases. So this two article you just have a brief reading, because as I mentioned about the Pakistan stand, Pakistan minister is a promoter of terror industry, the statement given by the Jaishankar. We would like to Indian government to create an environment conducive for talks. It is regarding Jammu and Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan. Go through these two articles, you'll get a clear idea regarding the issue. Right. Next article that we need to give attention towards the government program for non-communicable diseases renamed. The addition of many new diseases or diseases group and new health initiatives have prompted the union government to widen and rename its program for control and prevention of non-communicable diseases. This statement recently given by the Family of Health, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So now we need to know what is mean by this communicable, non-communicable diseases. NCDs, also known as chronic diseases. Chronic diseases. These are all tend to be of long duration and are the result of combination of genetic, physiological, environmental, and behavioral factors. So the main type of NCD are cardiovascular diseases such as heart attacks and stroke. Remember, cardiovascular diseases. And about cancers, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes. So, tobacco use, unhealthy diet, harmful use of alcohol, physical inactivity, and air pollution are the main risk factors of contributing to these conditions. The status of this non-communicable diseases in India, according to World Health Organization, over 60.46 lakh people died due to of NCDs in India as per the report in the year of 2019. Okay, so you need to know the statistics of the recent as well, 2022, so that you get an idea about how this is impacting the health of India's people. Many initiatives taken by the government of India to overcome this issue. NPCDCS, that is National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetics, cardiovascular diseases, and stroke, which is implemented under the National Health Mission, and also central government to set up a separate institutes in terms of taking care of the cancer. Okay, SCI, State Cancer Institutes and Territory Care Centers. And also Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana. Okay, oncology in its various aspects had a focus in case of new aims. And also Amrit, which is known as affordable medicines and reliable implants for treatment. So Deen Dayal outlets have been opened at 159 institutions and hospitals with an objective of make available cancer and cardiovascular disease drugs and implants discounted price to the patients. Then you know about John Aushadhi stores, which set up by the Department of Pharmaceuticals to provide generic medicines at affordable price. So these are all the information that you need to understand based on the non-communicable diseases and the initiatives taken by the government of India. And MG Narega workers may get text message confirming their attendance. 100 days Rural Employment Scheme MG Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So this particular scheme, which is providing 100 days rural work for the people. So now it is about the attendance message confirmation to their mobile number so that they can monitor and track the attendance of the people whoever work under the scheme. So last article of the day, COVID pandemic is no longer an emergency declared by World Health Organization. So the WHO said COVID-19 no longer qualifies as a global emergency because it is coming under the surveillance as well as it is possible for us to constrain it. So that making a symbolic end to the devastating coronavirus pandemic that triggered once unthinkable lockdowns, upended economies and killed millions of people worldwide. See, this announcement come up with kind of relaxation and coronavirus and international crisis happened. Everybody witnessed about it. So the East Asia and West Asia to support their case and World Health Organization says thousands of people are still dying from the virus every week, but still we are like taking a lot of steps to overcome that particular issue. So as per the declaration by WHO, COVID-19 pandemic is no longer an emergency. Right. So that's all for the day. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned. Thank you. Bye bye.